Real estate player HassConsult says there is still huge demand for property in the country. This is despite an obvious slowdown in the market that has seen many quarters raise concerns. Dennis Otieno reports.
In most urban areas in Kenya, cranes are a common sight. Both residential and commercial buildings are being put up at a much faster rate than before. But over the last few years, property prices have skyrocketed and empty spaces have been the order of the day, raising questions as to whether a housing bubble is imminent. Not so, according to some players in the industry.
The fundamentals of how a bubble is created is unsupported in Kenya. A bubble is only created on the back of cheap finance, and our finance is far from cheap and far from accessible, and that's the only way in which a bubble is formed.
A housing or real estate bubble occurs when house prices rise at a rapid rate, driven by an increase in demand, limited supply and emotional buying. Observers say there is still need for homes and office space, with Kenya being a major player in Africa, where investment in real estate is still attractive. Easy access to finance is still a major factor shaping real estate market in Kenya.
A bubble is only created on the back of cheap finance, and our finance is far from cheap and far from accessible, and that's the only way in which a bubble is formed. So right now what's happening is prices are high, that's true, but that's because real estate is the only real investment vehicle for most Kenyans. So it's not only seen as a housing instrument, it's seen as an investment instrument.
Sentiments which were more or less shared by Central Bank Governor Patrick Njoroge, who called for the need to diversify.
We argue about diversification, but if you look at our personal portfolios, we are very heavy in a particular investment. For instance, housing. We put a lot of our wealth in housing. Your own house, the house that you're living in. I'm assuming the car is not the same value as the house, right? So I think diversification is something that we need to remind the banks and remind everyone else.
Kenya has a housing deficit of 2 million units annually, but the government can only supply an estimated 50,000 units. Dennis Otieno, Citizen TV.